League of Legends is a game that I've enjoyed since 2014, and honestly, it's something that I've played basically on and off the whole time. Like, it's not completely 100% always playing every single day, but I've always been around League of Legends basically the entire time. And whether you think that's a good or bad thing, that's completely up to you. I understand if you think that's a bad thing, though I do have to say the reputation League of Legends has for toxicity and stuff is, I think, overdone a little bit. Mostly because it's funny a lot of the times, or it's like good content to show how toxic people can be, which I think most people just don't experience, in my opinion, or are playing like me who just don't have the chat off. But that might be a different topic for a different video, because this video I have this weird conflicting view on League of Legends, because this is probably the most fun since I started playing League of Legends when I was playing it. But watching League of Legends, I have found, is become almost the most boring I've ever had. And the only reason I can watch League of Legends is because of Caedrel's YouTube channel at this point. And I don't actually enjoy watching the pro scene basically unless it's Caedrel, because it's just so long now, I feel like, or it's different. Even though I think I have enjoyed the Fearless draft the most, and it's like the most interesting, I feel like I should be more interested in it, but I'm not. And this video is going to be me trying to figure out why. As I started thinking about it and started thinking about it more, I really came up with three different possibilities slash reasons why I felt this way now. The first reason is kind of like almost a cop-out reason, is that I got a lot older. I mean, I have been playing the game since 2014. I've been playing and watching it. So, like, it's been over 10 years. So maybe, eventually you just lose interest. But then as I thought about that reason, I'm like, it's kind of true, but I wasn't playing the whole time. I wasn't watching the whole time. And I've only recently gone back into it the last year. And the last time I got really into it was like 2017, 2018. So there's been a couple year gaps sometimes. And for the reason I've enjoyed playing it this much is because I've switched roles into mid lane and jungle instead of support, which is what I've been playing for the majority of the time I've been playing League of Legends. So I'm like learning a whole different thing. So I feel like it should also translate to watching League of Legends, because watching League of Legends is so different comparatively to when I used to watch a ton of it, because Fearless Draft exists now with champions in best of threes, their champions only being able to being played once. It's so interesting, and I honestly think that's an amazing decision Riot made. So I don't know if it's true that the reason that I thought initially was because it's just been so long, so maybe I'm getting bored of it. Because then I look at other games that I still enjoy watching, like Minecraft and StarCraft Broodwar. I mean, Broodwar is literally even older than League of Legends, and I still watch that game, and I still watch it. And the meta, there hasn't been a patch to Broodwar in like 20 years, 20 plus years. So I don't know if my initial thought process of it being just losing interest over time was correct, because when I look at all those examples, no, I don't think so. I think it's something different. It's something else. And then I came up with the second reason. And the second reason is maybe it's just one of those games that I don't enjoy watching anymore, and or enjoy playing but don't enjoy watching. For instance, with the other example of StarCraft Brood War, I don't say I don't want to, I enjoy playing, but I don't enjoy playing the StarCraft Brood War multiplayer. I enjoy playing the campaigns. I've played through the single player campaigns of StarCraft 1, Brood War, and StarCraft 2 so many times, and I really enjoy it. But the multiplayer is a different ballgame. I do not want to play the multiplayer because it's too hard for me. It's too complicated. In order for me to fully play it to enjoyment, I'd have to get good at it, and I'm just not willing to put that much time into it, which is a me thing. I completely understand. So maybe League of Legends, similar to Brood War, like for instance, Brood War is, I enjoy watching it, but playing it, I don't enjoy playing multiplayer. So maybe League of Legends is, I enjoy playing it, but I don't enjoy watching it. And I truly thought about this for a lot. But then I still kind of watch it. I watch Caedrel, and his videos sometimes are an hour long, so it's not like it's even like a time commitment thing. And then I realized more and more as I watched it is that it's a different part of League that I enjoy, because the difference is I don't enjoy watching the straight streams anymore. I don't watch like the full things live as well. I don't watch any of it live. I used to watch it all the time live, whether it be NALCS or EULCS, or even if I had a terrible sleep schedule, it would have been on the Korean Pro League. I can't remember what it was called at the time. I think it was called OGN or something like that. Something like that. I can't remember right now. So I still kind of enjoy watching it. As you can see that I'm like slowly realizing as I'm thinking about this. And then I was like, okay, so I kind of enjoy watching it, but I don't enjoy watching it raw. That's a weird way to say that, but that's how I'm thinking about it. So as I was thinking more and more about this, I was like, okay, what is it about the differences of watching a Caedrel video compared to the actual like LCS broadcast, or at the time LTA, even though they're changing it back, or the EU LCS, or the Korean leagues, because I don't enjoy watching the raw VODs from them anymore. And it isn't the time commitment as well, because like I would skip through stuff even then when I was enjoy watching it all. Was I truly watching it the whole time? Probably not. It was on the background. Sometimes if I liked the teams enough, I would be watching the whole time. But like, was I watching that full 4 to 6 hour long VOD attentive at all times? No, but I don't think they expect you. It's kind of like sports. It's on the background sometimes. You know, it's like watching a baseball game or a hockey game or a basketball game. I think baseball and football are like the two sports that are baseball, soccer, and football are the 3 sports that I would say is the easiest way to compare them, because like those games, there's moments where you're intently watching, and then there's like, okay, let's do something else while it's in the background while they're like, you know, setting up the play, or like, you know, nothing big is happening right now, so we can do something else. But interestingly, I think that's one of the reasons why I don't enjoy watching the full VODs anymore, because I want to watch the whole thing. Which is, it feels like a weird thought process for me, because I was like, shouldn't I enjoy it being in the background? But no, I find the LCS and EULCS and all the Korean stuff, League of Legends pro play, I find isn't as good when I'm not fully paying attention to it. But when I'm fully paying attention to it, it's kind of boring. And that's like such a weird dilemma that I had in my head, because it feels like it shouldn't be. Because when I'm watching a Caedrel video, I am entertained. And it isn't always just Caedrel. Like, sure, he can like be animated and all that type of stuff, but like most of the time I'm watching League of Legends, you know? Like, he's talking about League of Legends, he's talking about the draft, he's looking at the fights. And I was like, wow, this is so weird, because is it that much different than watching the broadcasts? And as I thought about it more and more, I realized something that should have been a duh moment, but it's because I guess I didn't think that it would be like this. But what Caedrel does is he basically does highlights of the games, right? With his thoughtful process behind it. Thoughtful in quotation marks sometimes. And that made me realize, oh, I just enjoy watching the highlights now. I don't enjoy watching the whole thing, which is interesting. And I was like, okay, now that I figured out, okay, I just enjoy watching the highlights, so that's fine. Like, I enjoy watching highlights of different stuff. I mean, it's like watching a funny moments video kind of as well, right? But that never happened to me for like esports games. Like, I never skipped through and watched highlights of like a StarCraft game in when like GSL was happening a lot, or ASL for Broodwar, or the 400 billion Counter-Strike tournaments that happen every 5 weeks, it seems like sometimes. I've never really watched the highlights for those. I watched the whole thing. But League of Legends is the only one that I'm like, nah, I'm going to watch the highlights from Caedrel specifically, and then not bother with the rest of it. I only watch certain things. Like, for instance, this year, this is the most I've ever watched the EULCS, simply because Caedrel watches it. And like, this is the least amount of NALCS I've watched, because Caedrel doesn't care about NA, which, to be fair, I realize I don't really either. Because I even thought about, like, do I really care? Not really, because I know they're not going to win, so it doesn't matter. So yeah. And it was really interesting to think about that. And then with the Fearless draft being introduced, it was so interesting to hear the draft talk from Caedrel specifically as well. I really enjoy that aspect of the drafting now as well, especially with Fearless. And it was so interesting to hear his opinion on it, because even though, no offense to the casters, they're not as, I don't want to say not as smart, because I think they're just as smart in League of Legends, some of them, as Caedrel. But the problem is that they are trying to be a caster and a commentator. They are not doing what Caedrel's doing, which is he's kind of being an analytical analyzer guy, but he's also, like, especially with Lost Returns and stuff like that, he's done drafts as well. So like, he can talk about it more in depth, and he doesn't have to keep the pace. Like, he has his own pace, and the commentators are doing the pace of the game. So they can't stick on 1 point too long, because they need to keep the show going, basically, and I totally get that. But that also means that it's slightly less informative, because the reason people are watching a Caedrel stream, and unless they're trying to troll him, which to be fair, a good amount of his audience is trying to do that, is because they want to see the thoughts behind of what he thinks is good or what he thinks is the right decision, all that type of stuff. So I would lose that if I don't watch Caedrel, if I watch the raw broadcast, and I wouldn't get it as much in the broadcast itself, which I thought was really interesting to think about. And I was like, I've never really had this happen to me when I'm watching esports, because if you couldn't tell, I watch a ton of esports in games that I've played or haven't played. Like I can't remember what game it was called, but it was a game where like it was a first person shooter, and it had like it was kind of like Tribes, if anyone remembers Tribes, but it wasn't Tribes. It lasted for like a couple years maybe, and I watched a bunch of tournaments because of Total Biscuit at the time, and he did a ton of things. I'm like, you know what, this is kind of interesting. Never played it. The game basically didn't last past like that year, I think. But I was like, man, that was kind of interesting. So like I've watched these games, I've watched esports. It's just I'm just an esports viewer. And it was weird to me, and it's still kind of weird to me. And then as I looked deeper into it, I was like, okay, as I looked deeper, I think I figured out the third reason as well. Because the first reason, the original first reason, I think that was just like a premature reason. I was like, no, it wasn't because of time commitment. Like, or not time commitment. It wasn't because of it's been a long time. That's never cared. That doesn't matter. The second reason, yeah, it could be. Just like my viewpoint of the actual game and my wanting to watch the highlights is just different, and I want Caedrel's opinion. I want more analytical side of League of Legends, especially the drafting. So I really thought about that, and I was like, okay, that's a good reason. And then I thought about the third reason, and the third reason is really funny to me because it is entirely Riot's fault, because it is such a whiplash to watch something like Caedrel and then watch other tournaments from League, not other tournaments, sorry, when they do international tournaments, because the UI in the observer menu goes from really good to like literally I can't stand it. And like for instance, right now, currently as I'm recording, Worlds is going on, and I hate this UI. I hate the Worlds UI. It is so annoying. The things are so small at the score in the bottom like little box thing. The player cams are really small. The extra space that they get from not having it on the sides is wasted because no one's paying attention to the sides of the screen. Everyone's paying attention to the front of the screen. And for the people who want to know things like flash timers, ult timers, how much XP you have, everything is so much smaller, and you have to squint. And I'm like, I wonder if Riot has to have the data, because I feel like the majority of people watch these things on their phones or tablets. Like, that's generally how most people watch things nowadays. So why are you making everything smaller? Like, maybe it's because of vertical view. Maybe it just doesn't work in vertical view. But you can't tell me that that's a better experience in vertical. I don't think it is. It can't be. So like the reasoning is that if I watch a Caedrel highlight video, I don't have to look at the terrible UI as long as possible. Like I minimize how long I have to actually see the UI for the most part, because like, I mean, the weird thing is that the regular regional seasons are fine and the UI is great. Like the European LCS and the Korean League, when it's just normal regional play, it looks great. I think the UI is actually really good, but only they change it when it's international tournaments, and I don't understand why, because it's just a worse UI. I don't understand why Riot needs to try to fix something that isn't broken. Like, I don't know. Like, funny enough, some of the best times in Worlds I've seen is when the UI breaks and they have to go back to the default observer stuff, and I just think it is so much better. Like, the default observer stuff is better than their UI, which is really sad. And I think funny enough, Caedrel helps me with that, because I don't have to look at it as long, because he picks out the good stuff of the games and condenses it down to, like, I mean, the longest Caedrel video when a 5-game series is like, what? I mean, 2, maybe 3 hours compared to like the 6-hour broadcast sometimes. And that's generally just one game, right? So it's like so much better to actually see it for less time, which is hilarious to think, because like the whole thing is like, I want to still watch League, but Riot has such terrible UI that it makes me feel like I need to get laser eye surgery again, because I have to squint so hard in order to see all these stupid cooldowns, and it's dumb and I hate it. Riot, stop it. Just go back to the other UI. I don't understand why you have to change it in international tournaments. And after realizing that, funny realization, to be fair, it kind of made sense to me of like going back to the original thing of like, why don't I enjoy watching it as much anymore? Because it should be the most entertaining, is that watching international tournaments, really sucks right now. And I really like it's this weird flux of wanting to watch League and not wanting to watch it, because I really enjoyed the regional stuff, but as soon as we go international where you should care more, I stopped caring because I hate the UI so much. And for another reason, of my fourth reason, I've snuck up and created a fourth reason. When that's not true, I didn't create it. I already knew it was happening. I knew it was happening, but you guys didn't know it was happening. And that reason is quite simply, it's not really a competition anymore. Korea and China are just better than everyone else, and Korea is better than most other people. Like, sure, we get surprise games from other teams winning, but like, Korea's most likely going to win. And if Korea doesn't win, China's going to win. And it's going to be a Korea versus China or Korea versus Korea in the finals. Europe might win a couple games more than NA, because NA is basically FlyQuest, and they're like the only team that exists in NA, and that's giving them too much credit, I think, because I still think a lot of the NA teams, me being from NA, I think I'm allowed to say this, NA has never been competitive, and I'm at a point where I don't even bother anymore. Like, I used to watch NALCS all the time. I just don't care. Like, it doesn't matter how dominant NA teams can be when they just get pimp slapped every time they get on an international stage. And at this point, I'm just done. Like, until they start actually being competition, like, I don't need them to win worlds. I just need them to like win a series against someone and like have more than one team that is at least competitive. And now, to be fair, in this current worlds, it seems like G2 is basically the only team for EU. But like, it's like a normal thing for Europe to have only one team that's relatively competitive. And like, that's like the weird thing, you know. Normally EU has like two teams, or at least like two teams, and the third team, like, maybe they're a dark horse, they could win a couple games and like mess up the whole system. But generally EU has more than two that are competitive. This year maybe it's only G2, but you know, everyone's allowed to have bad years, considering how NA has never had a good one. And so, like, funny enough, being an NA player and an NA fan, I don't cheer for NA teams. I actually want the Korean teams to win. And even saying that, am I really an NA fan now? I honestly don't even know. I don't even think so. I don't even watch it. I'm more of a Caedrel fan than an NA fan, you know? If Caedrel wants that team to win, unlike the rest of his chat, I want that team to win, because I enjoy seeing Caedrel happy. It makes me laugh. Except for IG. It is funny when I see IG lose. I have to say. That's the exception. It's kind of funny. It's sad to see the Shy lose, but IG in general it's such a roller coaster. It's like the we're so back, it's over, we're so back, we're so over. They are that team in extent, and that makes me laugh. And I feel like after all this, I've just embraced our Korean overlords when it comes to League of Legends, and I think part of me not enjoying watching anymore is that I was still kind of wanting in my inner soul that NA had a chance, or EU had a chance, or anyone but Korea had a chance. And now, to be fair, China does have a chance sometimes now, but it still is really like the Korean teams that are the dominant ones. And like, everyone's expecting, okay, like the two best teams that are in Worlds are the Korean teams. And then sometimes the third best is a Chinese team, sometimes. But at least from my experience or from my watching, yeah, the Korean teams are the best ones. Which, I mean, I'm not saying there shouldn't be a dominant region, but like, I feel like at this point, it's just getting to a point where there isn't really a challenger other than the other Korean teams. And that can be fun, don't get me wrong. I'm also a Faker fanboy, you know? I've embraced I want Faker to win everything until he retires. So maybe I'm being a hypocrite in that way, because I'm talking about wanting a different champion, but I also want Faker to win everything. So I'm just very conflicted, it seems, through this whole thing. I just don't know. This whole video is, I just don't know. And maybe this is a call for help. Maybe this is a call for help. To be fair, I did say at the beginning of this video, I do enjoy playing League of Legends. So maybe it's a lost cause. It could be a lost cause. It's a lost cause, but that's okay. But overall, I still feel like I still enjoy watching League of Legends, but it still feels boring. And I think as we've gone through all these things and talked about all this, that's what I feel. Watching the broadcasts is boring. And if Caedrel wasn't making his content, I honestly think I would have stopped watching League, which is kind of sad to me, because it's always kind of been there. Even when I wasn't playing, I was always kind of like around there, looking at the memes, looking at the tournaments, watching Worlds once a year, even when I wasn't playing or not involved at all. I even went to a live League game when it was here in Canada. So like, it's been a part of me, and I'm glad it still is. Kind of like Brood War. I've always been playing StarCraft and I'm still watching it. And League has always been that game as well. It's been those 2 games. Well, that and Minecraft. It's been these 3 games, that and Minecraft. It's always been around. I've always been involved with it somehow. And I'm glad that League of Legends has still been able to keep my attention for this long. And I guess it was saddening to me that it wasn't. It was starting to lose. And then when I found Caedrel stuff, I was like, oh, I'm totally back. And then the frustrations of watching League came up to me and like, oh my gosh, this is why I stopped. But now, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your point of view, it seems that I'm here and I'm going to be watching League of Legends. So Caedrel, please don't stop making videos, because I don't know what I'd do if you stop. I'd probably have to watch the broadcasts, and I don't really want to do that. So this is my plea. Please don't stop. And Riot, for the love of God, change your UI for international tournaments. It's literally killing my soul. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to support the channel directly, please go over to the Patreon. You can go join all of these nice people going across the screen right now. Please like and subscribe as well. If you didn't like the video, you could always dislike it. I completely understand. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have the same feelings about League of Legends as I do. It's very conflicting and very slightly hypocritical. It's a lot of emotions, basically, is what I'm saying. I'm very emotional about League of Legends. And if you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye, everyone.